Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. First, the major headlines for today. Six patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19. Partial flight to resume from and to Asmara. UK's Boris Johnson launches mass testing program as economy reopens. Floods and landslides in Indonesia and East Timor kill more than 100. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. 6 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in Gashbarka and Ansabar regions. Out of these, 5 patients are from quarantine centers in Adbara, Ali Gidar, and Golij Gashbarka region. The sixth patient is from the quarantine center in Karan, Ansabar region. On the other hand, 6 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the central region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 3,064, while the number of deaths stands at 10. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 3,340. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 5 April 2021. The Ministry of Transport and Communications announced that partial flight from and to Asmara will resume in mid-April. According to the program, there will be weekly flights from Asmara, Addis Ababa and Asmara, Dubai, with implementation of strict preventive measures, including prior PCR testing, rapid antigen testing upon arrival at the airport, and other preventive measures. Detailed information will follow in the days ahead. Residents of Marhano administrative area, in cooperation with the Ministry of Agriculture, have conducted water and soil conservation activities with a view to redress the environment and boost agricultural production. According to Mr. Taghlab Kaflai, administrator of the area, daily about 300 residents have been participating in the program, indicating that commendable activities have been carried out through integrated effort by the residents and agricultural experts. Mr. Habtamariam Amanai, head of the Ministry of Agriculture branch in Gala Nefhi subzone, called on other villages to conduct similar activities before this summer. The residents on their part commended the activities and the advice they have been provided with by the agricultural experts and expressed their readiness to strengthen organizational capacity and participation in the implementation of development programs. Over 150 members of the 33rd round of the National Service that are taking part at the vocational training center being provided in the Gamhara voluntarily donated blood. According to Mr. Gurmai Isyet, chairman of the Voluntary Blood Donors Committee, the donation has been as a result of the sustainable awareness raising activity conducted. And commending the response the trainees gave to call on the committee, Mr. Gurmai said that voluntary blood donation has become part of the noble culture on the Eritrean people. The trainees on their part called for more and sustainable awareness-raising programs with a view to increase the number of voluntary blood donors and enrich the blood banks of health facilities and save lives. The National Voluntary Blood Donors Association, that has been established in 2013, is conducting praiseworthy effort in increasing the awareness of the public on the importance of blood donation in saving lives. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after the short break. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said today everyone in England will be able to take a COVID-19 test twice a week in a new drive to track the pandemic as society reopens and the vaccine rollout continues at its rapid rate. Johnson, who is expected to confirm plans to relaunch international travel and open sections of the economy, said the new mass testing program would break the chain of transmissions and spot cases without symptoms. As much of Europe enters new lockdowns to tackle surging cases, Johnson has set out a staggering plan to ease restrictions in the coming months, a huge boost for one of the worst hit countries during the pandemic. Vaccine passports are also being trial-led for mass events. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are following their own similar paths out of a strict lockdown that was imposed at the beginning of this year. At least 101 people have died after flash floods and landslides hit Indonesia and East Timor yesterday. Torrential rain sparked widespread destruction in the Southeast Asia neighbors, with water from overflowing dams submerging thousands of homes. The affected area stretches from Flores Island in eastern Indonesia to East Timor. In Indonesia alone, 80 people have died, with dozens still missing. Officials warn the toll could still rise. At least 21 people have also died in East Timor, also known as Timor-Leste. News agency quoted officials in the island nation as saying many of the victims are believed to be from the country's capital, Dili. Landslides and flash floods are not uncommon across the Indonesian archipelago during the rainy season. In January this year, 40 people died when flash floods hit the town of Sumedang on Java, and last September, at least 11 people were killed in landslides on Borneo, while a few months earlier, dozens died in Sulawesi. Emergency crews in Florida have been working to prevent a catastrophic flood after a leak was found in a large reservoir of toxic wastewater. More than 300 homes near Tampa Bay have been evacuated, and a highway near the Piney Point Reservoir has been closed. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency on Saturday. On Sunday, he said the water was primarily salt water from a dredging project mixed with legacy processed water and storm water runoff. He added that the water was not radioactive as had been feared, and that the priority was to prevent a real catastrophic flood situation. Officials said the 31 hectares reservoir holds millions of gallons of water containing phosphorus and nitrogen from an old phosphate plant. Attempts to repair the leak late on Friday by plugging the hole with rocks and other materials were unsuccessful. Declaring a state of emergency allowed funds to be released to send more pumps and cranes to the area. South Korea's LG Electronics will wind down its loss-making mobile division after failing to find a buyer, a move that is set to make it the first major smartphone brand to completely withdraw from the market. Its decision to pull out will leave its 10% share in North America, where it is the third largest brand, to be gobbled up by Samsung Electronics and Apple, with its domestic rival expected to have the edge. LG's smartphone division has logged nearly 6 years of losses, totaling some $4.5 billion. Dropping out of the fiercely competitive sector would allow LG to focus on growth areas such as electric vehicle components, connected devices, and smart homes, it said in a statement. In better times, LG was early to market with a number of cell phones innovations, including ultra-wide-angle cameras, and at its peak in 2013, it was the world's third largest smartphone manufacturer behind Samsung and Apple. But later, its flagship model suffered from both software and hardware mishaps, which combined with slower software updates saw the brand steadily slip in favor. Analysts have also criticized the company for lack of expertise in marketing compared to Chinese rivals, while other well-known mobile brands such as Nokia, HTC, and BlackBerry have also fallen from lofty heights. They have yet to disappear completely. Spain has allocated money for a 3-year experiment to compensate business that shows a shortened week. Spain is about to ask hundreds of companies to join in one of the biggest ever tests of whether a 4-day work week can be implemented without harming the economy. While initiatives elsewhere have largely been small-scale and started by individual businesses, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's administration has agreed to put $59 million on public money into a 3-year nationwide program. It's the brainchild of a small left-wing political party called MasPace, which persuaded the socialist-led government to implement a 32-hour work week, and that assesses the experiment. Party leader Inigo Errejón expects around 200 employers to sign up voluntarily with a start date in the fall. Errejón, 37, was calling for a 4-day work week even before the COVID-19 pandemic, but He says it's now more plausible in Spain because the crisis has shown that greater flexibility is possible in the workplace. The idea of 4-day work week is catching on some parts of the world, namely trial in New Zealand, Japanese lawmakers discussing a proposal to grant an extra day off, and German technology company Awin started cutting hours while maintaining salaries and benefits last spring, and says sales, employees' engagement and client satisfaction all rose. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.